Good morning and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Bailey, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today is Bailey's ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands, the corrections and motivations we give her while we are working with her, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. The correction that we give is a tug and let go to the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Bailey's been fitted with her own personal training collar, and we'll show you how to properly use this during your one-on-one lesson. As you can see, Bailey is seated nicely on Fred's left, which is where all our obedience training is done. The first command they'll demonstrate is heeling, which is proper walking on a leash. And Fred and Bailey take off doing that now. The command you want to use for this is Bailey heel, and then you start walking and she'll fall right in line on your left-hand side. And we've also gone ahead and incorporated our automatic sit into this, so anytime Fred stops his feet, Bailey will sit. There's an example there. That's important when you're heeling Bailey, that she walks at your pace without trying to pull ahead of you or lag behind. If she did attempt to pull ahead or lag behind, say no, give a tug and let go correction to your training collar, repeat the command to heel, and then start walking again. Next up, they're going to demonstrate our stay command, which is a hand and voice command. Fred will use the open flat of his left palm an inch or so from Bailey's muzzle and the one-word command to stay. He then walks out to the end of the training leash. Now this is a great exercise to build up self-control in Bailey. You can start practicing this one at about a minute's time and work your way up in increments until you get to about 3 minutes. Now as Fred returns back to Bailey, he's going to walk all the way around her, providing an added distraction as he goes behind, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. She holds that sit-stay throughout. He gives her some praise and then heels her right out of it. I'll show you a little more of our heel sit and stay. So he heels her around, stops his feet, she sits.
Stay.
And gives her the stay again, back out to the end of the training leash. And this time he'll give her a second to hold it, and then he'll demonstrate our come or recall command instead of returning back to her. Call her in using her name. She comes in, sits in front, and then we have an exercise called the finish. Fred's going to heel her right around the back of him and gets her right back to that proper left-hand side heel position, and she sits. He'll demonstrate that recall one more time. She's in a sit. He gives her a stay out to the end of the training leash. And then calls her in. She gets right up, comes into him, sits in front. And the finish one more time, right around the back of him, and gets her right back to that left-hand side heel position, and she'll sit. Nicely done. Gives her some praise, heels her right out of it. Now it's a good time to remind you want to practice all your commands with Bailey about 15 to 20 minutes a day. You can practice them inside or outside your home, and then just start incorporating them into your daily routine with her. And next up are going to be our down commands. The first is down from a heel position. Fred will use the open flat of his left palm straight down to the ground and the one-word firm command to down. He then gives her a stay and walks back out to the end of that leash. This is another great exercise to build up that self-control. You can start practicing this one at about 3 minutes time and work your way up in increments until you get to about 5 minutes. He'll then return back to her just like he did on the sit-stay, walks all the way around, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. She holds that down throughout, gives her a little praise, heels her right out of it. He'll show you that down again when he comes back around. Now you see Bailey's doing very well, but it's always important to follow through with your commands. So if you give her a command and she does not respond, or she breaks one of her stays, the first word out of your mouth needs to be no, followed by a tuck and let go correction to her training collar, and then repeat the command you'd given her. Now Fred gives her the down again and a stay, walks back out to the end of that training leash. And this time he'll give her a second to hold it, and then he'll demonstrate our come or recall command instead of returning back to her, this time right out of the down position.
Bailey.
Calls her in by her name. She gets her right up, comes into him, sits in front. And then the finish again, right around the back of him, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Nice job. All right, we'll give them a second to get lined up for our final obedience command, which is down from a distance. And this will be our down from a distance. You're going to have her in a sit, give her a stay, walk out to the end of your training leash. Now this is the only time we use our right hand to give the command, and Fred will drop her into a down from the end of the training leash. He'll then return back to her one more time by walking all the way around and right back to the left-hand side heel position. Nicely done. All right, we've demonstrated for you our basic obedience commands we've been working on with Bailey while she's been here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Bailey, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.